Wrong trousers, wrong glasses. Oh, look, it's my internet glasses. Oh, why, how lovely to see you there. I feel like I'm like romper rooming and Mr. Rogersing all over the place. Well, hello there. I didn't notice you until I put on my special internet glasses. Carla Jane, good morning. You're up early along with me. Lori Hannah. Lori Hannah, you're up even earlier because you're from another time zone. I'm in a time zone. Good morning, Ivy. I see Cat Roby and Mother of Pearl and Teresa and Cat Mama. Tucson. Tucson. Okay, so Cat Roby's in Tucson. Lori Hannah is also in the Arizona state. So my goodness, my early birdies. That helps me get up at this quasi early hour here on the east coast of the United States. Good morning, Mosey. G. Harper, Gen 69. Laura Gibbon Voorhees. So many wonderful familiar names. And maybe some new ones too. Hey, everybody. Mother of Three Pearls says, it's my birthday today. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. You say it's your birthday. It's not my birthday too, yeah, but I wish you a happy birthday. Because it's a really great week to be born. My sister and two dear friends were born this week. Forever and ever. Oh my goodness, I haven't even had some caffeine. I'm already cracking myself up this morning. So yay. There we go. People are saying happy birthday to you. Ain't nothing wrong with that because we're moving on up. All right, so all sorts of wonderful Friday morning silliness with us, with the names that I'm familiar with, and maybe the names that I have yet to be familiar with. It's all good. Somebody said yesterday towards the end of my TikTok live, because I do TikTok lives as I kid, but it's serious. I do them every day except when I don't. That somebody said this was like the cool kid table at in the cafeteria. No, we're even better. We are the really cool kids because we are the ones who let everybody sit with us. Even the jocks and the cheerleaders, we allow them to sit with us. But we're also the math geeks and the music kids and the poetry people. And there's room at my table for everybody except haters. So yeah, I like taters, not haters. So I love this. Mother of Three Pearls, I didn't know what a rock and roller you are. I celebrated by throwing out 2 broken TVs. The rock and roll part comes when I'm thinking that you might have thrown them out of a two-story, like a multi-story hotel window. Wouldn't that be fun? Huh? Now, I love this. As many of you know, Kat Roby has this habit, a good habit to get into. What are your good habits, TikTok, retro roadmap? God, that's a blast from the past. Destination Decluttered TikTok live-wise. Kat Roby says to me, heyo, as often. And I say heyo back because I'm Johnny Carson, and I guess, or did Johnny Carson say that? And it was Ed McMahon? But I digress. Yes, scheduled Beth Blinders. She's even given it her official term. She's making it fun. Every time I do a TikTok live, she shows up, she checks in, she says, I got my Beth Blinders on, which means she has found something she's going to focus on while I do my 1 hour TikTok live. So today, and she shares it with us. She just doesn't do it herself, but she shares it with me and with you. And she says, organizing task list in Asana and maybe clear the breakfast bar. Sounds good. I wouldn't be surprised if you get that and more done by 9 o'clock Eastern when I sign off. But you are going to make progress, whatever, because as soon as you start, you're making progress. As soon as you take 1 step closer to where you want to be, you are closer to it than you've ever been before. So rock on, Kat Roby, for making neat, good, helpful, productive use of the time that I'm here with you. So I say that to you to say, yay, you. And then I say to other people, what do you want to spend this time with? What do you want to spend this next quasi hour, because we've got about 55 minutes. What's going to help you? Is it going to be asking me questions and writing down the answers so you know what to do the next time you get stuck? We can do that. Is it just you're wicked exhausted and you're laying in bed and you don't feel like getting out and you're tired and you just want to listen and scroll? That's cool too. I don't judge. Do you want to actually get up and move around and do some decluttering while I keep you company? Now, I think that's really cool because then at the end of that time, you will have something. You will have something to show for whatever you decide to do. At 9 o'clock, your decision today at 8:50 or 8:05. At 9 o'clock, you will see the results. If you lay in bed, maybe you're more rested. If you write things down, then maybe you've got a roadmap. I like to call it like a roadmap of how to get from here to there. And if you actually do get up and do the decluttering, well, you'll have some visual stuff to show for it. But each one of those things is important, okay? Taking care of yourself, making a plan and writing it down. Gonna find out who's naughty or nice. And also then doing that the decluttering. So it really depends on where you are in your journey. Do you need to take care of your body? Do that. Everybody, every day, regardless. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind. Okay? Do you have some ideas in your head or you're overwhelmed or whatever? Ooh, yeah, write stuff down. And if you've written stuff down and you know what to do and you've got a plan and it feels pretty easy, you can get started and do the stuff. Okay? So I love that. Okay, I love it. I thought the same thing when you said forever and ever. I love it. Okay, so Michael B62 says, have you heard of Swedish death cleaning? Hells to the yes, I have. I have heard of it, and I think it's wonderful because I'm doing that now, and I'm still in my 50s. I don't want to be saddled with this stuff, nor, unlike many generations before us, and I'm not going to judge the boomers, but I'm going to judge some boomers above me, in silent generation, really, it's more for me, it's silent generation, is I do not want anybody else to have to dig out my stuff. I want to make it as easy as possible for them, but also live surrounded by things that I enjoy. But the quantity and quality of the things that I have is drastically reduced from the amount of stuff that I grew up surrounded by and am helping my aged mother kind of deal with. And I'm sure a lot of you are in that same situation. I've seen videos on TikTok popping up about people helping their mother, their aging parents kind of declutter their houses. I think it's a wonderful idea. When you identify, when you remind yourself that you're going to die, that can put a little kick in your pants to get some stuff done that you want to do. You know? I love this. Here, we're backing up. She's backing up. Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, my mother did that. My brother did that, and he is happy with it. His house is very echoing now, and that makes me think of Carla, who often shows up here, is digging out her mom's house, and she loves that echoing sound. Now, it's interesting for me because our house, we've been in it almost 20 years. When you walk into it, you see how we decorated when we first moved in. As you get further into the house, and it's a small house, do not get me wrong, our tastes have changed. My tastes have changed, and I prefer a little bit more of that, not minimalist, but fewer tchotchkes in some areas, some clear walls, waiting for some nice, big, awesome pieces of artwork. So you do you. Yes, I think it's a great idea. Okay, Garrett has had zero motivation this weekend, working on my kitchen now. Okay, Garrett, I love that you're working on the kitchen. Cool, you do that, but also, as you're doing that, look in the rearview mirror. Everything, a wicked lot of stuff I say, is referred to like a car, trip, gas in your tank, road maps, going from here to there, destinations, all that. If we haven't met before, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered because I like to frame things in that kind of road trip and driving metaphor. So Garrett, if I were you, fine, work on the things you know how to do in the kitchen. Surface clutter is the perfect layer of clutter to work on while I am doing a TikTok live. However, while you're doing that, maybe you turn me down a little bit and you just ask yourself. You ask yourself a question, and everybody, ask yourself a question, no judgment, just curiosity. Why wasn't I motivated today? What was a contributing factor to my lack of motivation? And just ask yourself what came up. Write that down. It might have something to do with how your body and your brain was feeling. It might have to do with the amount of extraneous things you had scheduled. Regardless of what it is, just get familiar with it so you know that when those things happen, you may feel a lack of motivation, or if those things start to happen, you might be able to do something about it. Okay? All right. I am sorry. User 6242, ugh, it froze. Can you repeat what you said at 9 o'clock? Nope. I can't. I am I was telling my friend, we went out last night with a friend of mine for her birthday. I was saying, this is like jazz music, or this is like, what do you call that? Stream of consciousness. I have no idea what I said 2 minutes ago. I might say the same thing. The good news is, user 6242, are you on my mailing list? I hope you are. If you're not, get on it, destinationdecluttered.com/join. And this TikTok Live will be uploaded to the YouTube, and the people on the mailing list get access. They get, like, I call it first dibs. You get first dibs access on watching the recordings. So the recording will be there. I put it by date and everything. So today is what? Friday. Ooh, it's Friday the 13th. I'm going to cross my fingers. Make it good luck. Okay. All right. Michael B., you needed to do it. Downsized a couple years ago. Go for it. All right. I love it. Okay. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. I'm learning. Garrett says, I think I just needed some rest and relaxation, which I'm okay with. Yes, please, you guys. Do not try to drive forward with your gas tank on a quarter tank. Okay? Okay. Laura Gibbon Voorhees. This is a really good one. I like that you brought this. And actually, just to kind of, because I see some things, actually, Michelle says, my mom is 81 and still trying to deal with my Swedish grandmother's clutter, who was left the keeper. Yeah, so notice, clutter can be generational, both in terms of the physical objects you inherit and the skills and thoughts and feelings and actions that you were taught to think, and feel, and do about clutter. So Michelle, my heart goes out to you and your mom and everybody. Now, I want to go back to what Laura was saying, because this is really good. Because this will help other people. This is what we do. I show up here, I offer you what I got, but then other people bring to the table something, and it might help other people. So Laura says, unfortunately, when my brother decluttered, I accepted a bunch of his things out of guilt. Ugh. It added to my clutter, and now I need to figure out what to do with the things. Laura, this may sound harsh. You already know what to do with them. You just have a fear of doing it. This is why I think this, okay? You used the word guilt. Everybody knows the feeling of guilt. Ugh, all right, I guess. You know? Like, you want this? No, but I'll take it. Whatever. Notice you probably didn't want this stuff, but you took it. And this reminds me of like boundaries. You know, being able to know what you want means the more you know what you want, the more clear you are also on what you don't want. It's like the opposite. You know, like, this is what you want, this is what you get. This is what you want, this is what you get. Sorry, that was a quasi-punk rock moment. The more you know what you want, the more easily you can say, oh, thank you, but no. And literally notice the push away hand, the stop right there before you go any further. Don't bring your crap into my house, right? Now, I say this because I am really good at this. I have practiced this, but I've always had a very strong sense of what I like and what I don't, at least visually. Ever since like high school and stuff, even before, I really think, and I'm not kidding you, that my sense of what a cool style was totally informed by not the house I grew up in. That to me was very kind of boring and colonial. Probably very mindful, probably very demure. I totally imprinted on reruns of The Monkees in 1975 and 1976 on Channel 56 in Boston. I thought their beach house, which the first season it was, and the next season it was just a, whatever. I think it was the first episode they really used a house. Regardless, I thought their place was the coolest thing in life. It had all these wacky things in it and signs and, just thrifted like tchotchkes and things. Very hard day's night. So I say this to you because I know what I want. My sister, on the other hand, is trying to be nice to other people. So she accepts things, even my stuff. Now, the only time I started giving her a lot of my cool stuff is when she had a shop that she was selling it. But notice this. So Laura, I'm guessing, and it's okay for you to not want a lot of the stuff that your brother gave you. And in turn, anybody here who is feeling guilty, who doesn't want stuff but accepted it because of guilt, look at me, I'm the Pope. Bing, I absolve you of your guilt. Yeah, I'm like the opposite of the Catholic Church. I don't give you the guilt, I absolve you of it, okay? Guilt Guilt makes it easier for the giver, not the receiver. Big Catholic guilt, my friend was even in a band, they called it Big Catholic guilt. Helps the people who are giving the guilt, isn't so easy for the receiver. So learn to not do things from guilt, okay? All right. Erica Lins, good morning. I'm going to back up. I got a bunch of things as I was yakking here. Okay. All right. What do we got? Yes. Okay. I love it. Michelle, hopefully, because I recognize your little, like, cute little things on the other side. Just being overwhelmed shuts me down. Welcome to everybody. I say this because this is common to a lot of us. It is because of the way we're wired neurologically. When there's too much and you're getting overwhelmed, that activates a certain part of your brain. That means that you kind of shut down and you're trying to just fight or flight for survival. That's not a really good place to do stuff. So this is why I often offer, and it's not often offer, that kind of rhymed. Nope. It's sometimes I have it on my mug, excuse me. Calming down your nervous system. Just think of the word down. Did you write this down? Have you written this down before, Michelle? If not, I'm going to give this to you. And everybody here, everybody, write this down. When you feel overwhelmed, and this is what I like to think. Notice I said not judgment, curiosity. Not guilt, absolution of lack of guilt. Not overwhelm, but calming down. Opposites. Notice they're going from side to side. Before you do anything, make sure that you are in a right kind of frame of mind and physical. If you are feeling overwhelmed, I want you to do the following. Just think of all the words. Just think of the word down and how many times you can apply that. And even if you only do a handful of these things, you'll feel better in literally about a minute's time. I want you to sit down. You can put your feet down on the ground. Put your butt down on a chair. I want you to quiet down your surroundings. Shut the door, turn down the volume on stuff, maybe even put on headphones or earbuds. I want you to breathe down. I want you to breathe down to the bottom of your lungs and slow down your breathing and slow down your exhale. Breathe down through your nose and slow down your exhale through your mouth. Do that a few times. Put your shoulders down. Soften down. Maybe you even look down. You put your hands down in your lap. Maybe you just gaze down. You soften your gaze down. You quiet down. All of those things that I just mentioned, repeat those. Repetition is good. Breathing, quieting, slowing, softly talking to yourself. Shh, quiet, it's okay. This will quiet down your nervous system because there's nothing to be afraid of here. There's no fight or flight. There's nothing to fight or flight from or freeze because it's going to attack you. It's just stuff in your house. There could be a lot of it. So instead of looking all like this, you just look down, you focus down, you quiet down. I hope somebody wrote that down. I hope all of you wrote that down. I have it written down myself. When you quiet down your body and your brain, you allow your nervous system to go from fight or flight to another, clicking over to the other more helpful brain. Now, I have no interest in saying amygdala or, whatever, patella. I know that's your knee. That those kind of words bore me. What makes it easier for me is to think of my backseat driver, a kid who's always chatting in the backseat and who's like, "Oh my God, don't do that, do that, no, blah, blah, blah." Shh. That is that one part of your brain. But the other part, as you're the driver, when you quiet down, suddenly guess who appears? Da 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 da. Your co-pilot. The voice in you that says, "You can do this. This is cool. We got this. Just start small." Like me, I kind of show up in co-pilot voice, okay? But you can't do anything helpful when you're overwhelmed. Notice Michelle says, just being overwhelmed shuts me down. This is a lesson we pretty much go through every day when I do a TikTok live. And so please, I'm happy to repeat it for the new people because repetition is good. You got to repeat these things, create a groove. Okay? Yep. So I hope that helps. All right. So Michael got some downsized. I have things scattered. I don't miss them. Love it. Go for it. Kids don't want the china. You're wicked. You are totally right about that. All right. Rachel Baker. I am very fearful of giving sentimental things. Now, giving or giving away, I'm curious, but I'll do that. Notice the fear. Okay? I make things wicked simple here. Maybe too simple, but I want to help you. To me, I will qualify this statement. To me, Anytime you are not doing, many times, notice how I'm kind of hedging my bets here. Many times when you are not doing something, there is fear at the nucleus of it. Okay? So I love it that Rachel is already said, I'm very fearful of giving sentimental things. Okay. Now I don't know, again, qualifying things, giving sentimental things to other people, giving sentimental things away. Let's even just talk about what sentimental things are. When I talk about clutter, I mentioned 3 layers: surface, stored, sentimental. Surface clutter is the stuff that some of you who are up and puttering around listening to me are probably working on. Stuff on the surface, the everyday clutter of living. It happens, but we need to kind of manage it on a daily basis, or else it's going to pile up and be overwhelming. Stored clutter is the stuff that I like to say is behind doors and drawers. Okay, it's in your cupboards, it's in your closets, it's in your bureau, it's in the cabinets in the kitchen. The storage, the stuff you've said you want to keep, so you store it. The third one is the most difficult one for all of us. It is your sentimental clutter, and that is the stuff that involves your heart. It involves story and feelings. So it's, you know what? You are not alone when you struggle with what to do with sentimental clutter. So I can help you with that, but also even before you get there, please, everybody, practice the art of decluttering, because it is an art, on the easier things first. Get your surfaces in good shape. So you have surfaces. This is the thing. When you clear off a surface and you maintain it, then when you go to open up a drawer or a door and you need to declutter that, you now have a surface to dump things out on and spread it out and see what you have. Then you'll also notice as you're going through your stored things, what are things that are purely utilitarian and what are the things that actually have sentimental value. And sentimental things can be they can creep up surprisingly all over the place. I looked today in my closet in my bathroom. I was digging around for a makeup pad to get some mascara out of my eyes because I didn't get it all off last night. And I saw a thing of a jewelry cleaner. This is the jewelry cleaner I got when my husband and when we got engaged in 2001. So yes, it is still there as jewelry cleaner. You can tell how much jewelry, listen to me, jewelry I wear and clean for the fact that it's 20 plus years later. But it also has the name of the place on it. And so every time I see it, it reminds us of when we went to the jeweler and we got, engagement rings and stuff like that there. So sentimental stuff can be everywhere. Okay. Now, Laura Gimmon Voorhees, I just zoomed and I saw some more things about you and the guilt stuff. So I want to help you with this because when I help you, we are helping other people because they're kind of eavesdropping on us. Okay. So Laura says, what's troublesome is that stuff he and mom gave me, they've asked for them back. How do you still have that? I know I need to learn the word no. I didn't take everything, but I need to be firm. And there's nothing wrong with being firm because this is a self-preservation thing. There's nothing wrong with being nice to people. I am nice all over the frickin' place. But do not be nice. The first person you need to be nice to is you. The most important person in the whole wide world is you, and you hardly even know you, right? Be nice to yourself, and you can be nice to other people. But if being nice to them comes at the expense of you being nice to you, that's not good. That's not good. Okay? So practice being firm. Practice being firm. Okay? It can be very weird, but it's a good habit. Okay, there we go. Catholic. Yep, you know it. Big Catholic guilt. I'm telling you. All right, I'm backing up on things because these things come in after I've said them. So, okay. What do we have? My mom told me she gave my stuff because I had more space. All right, I started telling her before I gave it away. I no longer want this. Do you want it? I love it. Okay. All right. User 1963. Let me hit this one. User 1963. I'm upset. I must visit my parents and dad. My dad had surgery. I know my husband is going to get rid of my stuff. How about this? How about you tell your husband, do not get rid of my stuff while I'm gone? I am curious as to why that he might get rid of it. These things, A lot of it is about respect. One person in the couple may be more messy than the other. I mean, hello, Oscar Madison and Felix Unger, right? I am totally the Felix, and my husband's a little bit more Oscar, but we're a lot alike. But a lot of it is I will take care of my stuff, you take care of your stuff, and please respect that this is my stuff. Now, I admit sometimes I overstep this boundary when I go into my husband's office because I try to categorize some things to make it easier for him. But I never give away anything. So it's a good conversation to have with that person. It may be difficult, but it's important. Kelly is saying, I'm in extreme fight or flight right now all night, and I don't know why. Kelly, I will offer this to you. We don't have a lot of control over how our bodies are wired, how the chemicals in our heads and bodies react to one another. Sometimes we don't know. But what you can do, please, here I recommend this. Drink some water, quiet down your brain, and seriously get outside and move around. Get some fresh air into your lungs. Look at the world, look at the sky, interact with nature. Do some things to dissipate that feeling, okay? You got this. All right. And I love it. Even when I couldn't get to that, Laura Gibbon Voorhees is helping Kelly. Even though you don't know why, getting your body to calm down is doable. So yes, we don't necessarily need to know why. This is why I am a certified life coach, but in no way, shape, or form am I a licensed and trained mental health professional. I'm wicked smart, and I've dealt with crazy people all my life, so I'm kind of good at that anecdotally. But I say this to you because sometimes you don't necessarily need to go back to, the true core of things, but it can be helpful to occasionally look back in the rearview mirror. Why do I feel so shitty today? Oh, because I had 2 cocktails last night, and my body can't handle alcohol anymore. That's me. That's not you, Kelly. And I don't feel like crap today, just so you know. And boy, am I thankful for that. All right? Now, in the good news department, coming in from the good news department, we've got Carla Jane, who donated 6 bags to donate were taken to the garage yesterday. Yay. You know how good that is? You know how good that is? Is because Carla has tripped over bags of stuff that she has decided on, and she has hurt herself. So learn from other people's stumbles, literally and metaphorically. When you have decided that you do not want something, notice in my TikTok video that I did earlier this week, what is this thing? Do I want it or not? If I want it, where does it go? If I don't want a thing, what's the easiest way for me to get it out of my house? Now, she hasn't brought it to the donation place, but she's got it in the garage. So it is less likely there getting in the way of her walking around. So awesome, Carla. I cannot wait to see what you do tomorrow when we do our decluttering party. Everybody, remember we got the decluttering party tomorrow, noon o'clock Eastern until 1:30. If you're on the mailing list, I sent an email about it yesterday. Wicked excited about it. I love having a party, and especially these ones. We're having a party, and the house is going to end up being cleaner than it was when we started. How cool is that? All right. Now, Ginger Ellen Mary says, your words are hitting home. Okay, cool. Please, I do not gatekeep. I have the gate wide open. Write down what I say. Everybody, write down the things I say that resonate with you. Okay? This will be, at the end of this TikTok Live, a bit of a roadmap, a little bit of an insight as to where you are stuck and how you can get going. I want to share this info with you. I am like, hey, you guys, this is cool. I found something. I want to share it with you. It's not like I'm up on the mountain and I'm going to gatekeep and charge you money for this. Yes, I do charge money for my one-on-one coaching because that's you and me, and our time together is just you and me with everybody, and how we can apply all these things that I say generally to the hundreds of people that show up on my TikTok Lives. How can we apply these specifically to your situation? But really, I'm giving away all the stuff. You write it down and you do something with that, you're all set. Okay, so please do it. Michael, I'm glad you followed me today. I do TikTok Lives about every day, except for when I don't. And get on my mailing list is another good thing. DestinationDecluttered.com is my mailing list, is my website. There's a form there to sign up my mailing list. It's free. I only do good stuff. Seriously, I hate crappy emails. Getting on somebody's email funnel, it makes me want to flip the bird to the whole thing. So I just don't do that. Every email is sent organically from me. And you'll probably notice that when I do a typo or I've got a link wrong or it just is formatted crappy. I just want to get the message out. I don't care how it looks because I just want to communicate the meat in the sandwich for you. Okay, so there we go. I love it. Jelly Bee has a deal with my husband. For every new sports jersey he wants, he has to donate 3 old ones. I'm the same way with my husband and his rock and roll t-shirts. So Jelly Bee, isn't it good to have a system? All right, you want that one? Okay, which ones are going out? And if they want it bad enough, they'll do that. Okay? Okay. Okay, German Maid, and I totally get this. So German Maid is talking about the decluttering parties that I'm doing for the people on my mailing list. She's saying, I wish that I could attend. I wish you could too, but no big deal. We have our Christmas show on Saturday and practice on Sunday. I totally get that. That's one of the reasons why I did multiple parties this month. And the good news is, maybe January, if you do some, I totally am doing some in January. I was just about to look at my calendar, but I don't want to distract myself because I'm easily distracted. Hello, ADHD in the house, or in the fam at least. But I am definitely doing at least one, and I can pretty much 99.9% guarantee you there will be more than one more than one decluttering party in January. January is a kickin' time to get the decluttering done, because right now we've got all the kerfuffle of the holidays. Even my schedule is getting busy. That's why I'm not doing any next weekend or the weekend after that, because, holidays and whatnot. So do not worry about it. Okay? Now here's a cool thing. You guys, do you remember at the beginning of this TikTok live at 8 o'clock Eastern, when Kat Roby showed up and she has her process where she checks in with me and she says she's got her blinders on and she's going to do a task? It's only a half hour later. She says, Kat Roby is checking in. Asana sorted and planned. Removed cats from my legs and leaving bed for breakfast bar. Look at what you did. Awesome. Now, me, Ellen, went to 2 places to donate things yesterday. Yay. I love it. Now, Danielle is saying, my house was in great shape on Black Friday because I had a painting party and I wanted to keep it up. But I've been running around so lately I've let it get messy again. Danielle, that's totally okay. You guys, please remember, houses are meant to be, or homes rather, because you don't have to live in a house to have declutter, but that's my default word. Homes are meant to be lived in. You will show the evidence of you living in the house by your daily stuff that's kind of on the surfaces. There's nothing wrong with that unless it's at a point where it's starting to bug you. Now, my level of getting bugged is pretty low, which is great, because then I keep things very tidy because I just put things away quicker than when I put them down. I don't let things pile up like I used to, and man, did I used to let things pile up. Okay? So notice if it's starting to bug you. That feeling of, ooh, that bugs me, that's when you know what to focus on. Even today, I'm starting with a new client in a couple hours, and I said to her, and I'll say to you guys, what's an area of your house that bugs you? Take a picture of it. You know what that does? Kat was talking about blinders. That also crops out. That allows you to focus just on that one area. So you can change that, okay? Now, I love this. User 1963. I had fun and was productive last party, because I did these decluttering parties last weekend. I found Christmas gifts I squirreled away, and now many are wrapped and sent. Isn't that cool? Very cool. And Garrett, oh yay! Garrett says, decluttering party is awesome. I got such a great start on a room I was avoided. Join if you can. Yay. Yay, yes. And if you can, awesome. And if you can't, no guilt, no whatever. I trust you to do what works well for you. Start to trust yourself. It's okay. Calming down your nervous system. Oh, I can't make it this weekend. That's okay. There will be a time in the planet where I will not be doing decluttering parties, but I just started doing them. There is a modest ticket fee, as it were, and half of that ticket fee is going to the women's shelter down the street from me. I cannot wait to tell you guys how much money we're going to donate, but I do need to wait because I need to see how many people buy tickets so I can divide that number in 2. Okay? So just think, you're doing something to help yourself, but you're also helping other people. And hey, Oceanana, nice to see you. January, fresh start to the new year. There we go. All right, awesome stuff. So I think I've caught up with all the things. Okay, Michael just signed up for the email list. Awesome. a lovely cup of tea. Here at Destination Decluttered, we're sponsored by PG Tips. We are not. I'm just cracking up, like, oh, you just caught me, you know? Anyhow, decluttering party. You know what the fun thing, let me just riff on this too, because this is something I will share with you guys. The decluttering party wasn't my idea, okay? It was the idea of people who follow me. It was your idea. Said, hey, you know what makes it easier for me to declutter is when I feel like I'm not alone. When I feel like other people are doing it. Now, ADHD people, you may be familiar with that term, body doubling. So it's totally like a body doubling thing. But it's also that sense of community and you're meeting people. Now, I totally admit to being a little bit of an independent, kind of like a lone wolf, as Lenny and Squiggy would say, or, a loner or a rebel as Pee Wee Herman. Oh my God, I'm like Pee Wee and Lenny. Regardless, I'm okay with that. So it never occurred to me, the way I'm wired and the way I go through the world, that people would want to declutter at the same time. So what you showed me, you asked for me, you told me something that would help you. I love being a fairy godmother. I like making cool stuff happen. I like to help other people when I can. This is where the parties came together. And I will tell you, so many people are appreciating that feeling of being in it together with other people. And what we do is we sign on to Zoom, okay? We sign on to Zoom, and the cool thing is, and this is another thing that didn't occur to me either, that nobody, and it's like, oh, I don't want to turn on my camera. You don't have to turn on your camera. You don't even have to interact at all. You don't have to put on your mic or camera or chat or anything. It's wherever you feel most comfortable. Really all it is you showing up and we declutter together. We get together, we're all here. You've picked a place you want to declutter. I've done the same. I set a timer. I put it on my screen. I learned how to do that thanks to a person who was from one of my earlier decluttering parties. Then you go to your corner and I go to mine, and the timer is there to help you get started, because you're like, I'm not going to do it for the whole time. I'm just going to do it for 20 minutes. I'm going to stop. I'm going to practice stopping and starting. Anybody here ever, many of us learned how to drive a car, and quite a few of us learned how to drive a standard shift car. If you remember, one of the hardest things about learning how to drive is learning how to start and not stall out, and how to, once you're started, stop and not stall out. Setting a timer allows you to stop and then start again. Now, this is imperative for people with ADHD, because they tend to be all or nothing. Like, I'm doing nothing and then I try to do it all. And I think that's my personal assumption, is that's because of the fear of not having that energy, not being able to generate that energy when they want to. So I like to help make it safe that you can stop and then start again. Now, it's easy to get started again because everybody else is starting. Like, okay, I might as well do it too. Okay. Yes, and Michael B, eBay, inventory creep. It's a real thing. My house was filled with things. We moved here almost 20 years ago, and I used to sell mid-century and vintage and antique-esque things. And my God, it looked like we had been in this house 10 years the first year we moved, because all of my inventory moved to the basement. I am delighted to pretty much tell you that after I go up to Massachusetts for Christmas in 2 weeks, that I don't think I'll have anything left of what I have collected that I want to get rid of, or stuff that I have. It's a wonderful feeling. Okay? Now, Celerate says, helps when someone you trust holds space with you as you declutter. Yeah. And that kind of holding space, to me, this is, you are making space for yourself. Notice what I do with there's so many lessons here. The decluttering parties help because I declare a certain day of the week and time of the day that I'm going to start my decluttering. You could do the same thing by putting it by scheduling it for yourself and keeping that promise to yourself. Many of us easily break promises to ourselves that we don't break to other people. So you might tell yourself you're going to declutter, and then you make an excuse as to why not to. But if I say I'm going to be there at noon on Saturday and Sunday, and you're going to be there, that's true. That will help you show up to do it. Showing up to do it is like the hardest part. It's kind of like going to the gym. Okay? Oceanana says these decluttering parties are fabulous. So motivating, inspiring, and helpful. Yeah, it's cool. You're not alone, you know? And it's a fun environment. And I have made a space in my calendar for you and invite you. Hey, this is what I'm going to be doing and it's only literally it's only from noon to 1:30. We do a couple of rounds of like 20-minute declutterings. We have a little chat in between to make sure nobody's stuck, that everybody's moving forward. And then we spend a little time at the end, kind of lessons learned. What did you get accomplished? Celebrating our wins, getting to know people, getting to know you, getting to know all about you. Now, Ivy says, thank you. I was planning on staying in bed, and then you came on, and now my kitchen counters are nice. And you know what the great thing is, Ivy? I'm throwing that right back to you in the most nice way. I didn't clean your kitchen counters. You know what you did? You cleaned your kitchen counters. Isn't that cool? You decided, there was something about you that decided, I'm not going to stay in bed. I'm going to get up, and not even just get up. I'm going to get up and clean off the counters. And guess who gets to benefit from that? You do. You're making your dreams come true for you and you. Okay? All right. Deborah Smith. I'm finding myself in a dilemma again. I decluttered and moved, and now my garage is cluttered with boxes. Yes, these things will happen. Okay? These things will happen. So Deborah Smith, boxes that are filled with stuff, this is where I would get really curious. If you've moved into a new place, I say unpack slowly. Unpack slowly and mindfully and demurely maybe. See what things you truly need. Don't just open up every box and throw it in there because of that. Okay? Get curious about this stuff. Oh, this is really cool. Danielle says, I got more done at the party I attended than I would in a whole day. It was amazing. Okay? There we go. Cap says, do people ask for advice to do with specific items? They do. Uh-huh. Michael, I look forward to seeing you on the mailing list. All right. Well, there we go. It was my toddler that got me up, but I'm cleaning the kitchen while I listen. Awesome. It doesn't matter what gets you up out of bed. Oftentimes, I have no toddlers, except my bladder. My bladder gets me out of bed because I got to pee usually in the morning. So notice it doesn't matter how you get out of bed as long as you get out of bed. But what I want to offer to you is there are going to be things in your life that cause more clutter than normal or than usual. The holiday season, am I right, people? I mean, the holiday season is the time where you typically have things that are usually in storage, so stored clutter, 11 months out of the year. Then you bring these things, you're adding to your already existing items in your home, and you can be adding to it. So these things happen. If you move and you've got boxes in your garage, that's great. I will say, it's great that you have a garage to put the boxes in versus just being in your house. So that's wonderful. Okay? So notice that life will send you opportunities that you will be cluttered. You can always dig out of it, you know? So notice this. Yeah. So Kat says, and I missed the first one, Danielle, saying, I can get a new one for less than $20 and who knows whether it would fit. Yes, that notion of, well, I'm afraid to get rid of it. I'm afraid. Notice the fear. If you have something that you're like, I don't know what to do, you're in limbo. You want to get rid of it, but you're afraid something bad's going to happen. Okay? So notice this. What are you afraid is going to happen if you get rid of I say get rid of, but I don't mean, that sounds always mean. What if I let go of this thing? What if I release this thing out back into the wild? What am I afraid is going to happen to me? I'm afraid of pain, of trouble, of hurt. Notice what it is and just seriously write that down to yourself. I'm afraid my mother's going to be mad at me because she gave it to me as a gift. I'm afraid that the ghosts of Christmas past are going to be like, you can't get rid of that. That was Grammy's, you know? There we go. Amber says, oh, it just went away. My ADHD brain goes insane this time of year, so twitchy with all the Christmas decorations out. Okay, learn that about yourself and don't go to the places that are all activating the twitch, the bedrock, twitch. I do that myself. I get overwhelmed. I don't like to go to the malls and stuff like that. A little bit is fun, and then I'm like, all right, get me the heck out. No, Evolution by Nikki. This is a good thing. So I just want to share this with you. Evolution, it says, I want to listen to the party tomorrow. I can't join because my car will be serviced. Will you record it? I will not. I won't. You know why? Because it's going to be, seriously, it wouldn't be worth your while. Because all you would see is me sitting there waiting for people to ask me questions, people puttering around their houses doing decluttering, and you would see some of that, and then a whole bunch of just, blank spaces with people's names that don't even turn on their camera. No, what I would suggest, though, is any of my TikTok lives that I have recorded, and I've recorded them all, and there are over 500 of them, while you that are up on YouTube. The December ones are behind a secret wall that only the people on the mailing list can access. But there are plenty of other things. Anything I would say of value that would be on that party is going to be in one of my TikTok lives. Okay. I also really am a stickler for privacy. I don't want people to be feeling like they're not sharing. I could say it's being recorded, but I just don't feel it would bring you value. Okay. There we got it. Okay. So Cap is saying, yes, scarcity mindset. Yeah, that I'll regret it if it's sentimental. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Oh, Amber. Okay, clutter on top of clutter. Then don't clutter your house, silly. I haven't even put up my Christmas stuff yet, most of it. I have like 5 totes in the kitchen, and I've decided to only put up half of my, whatever half is, 2.5 totes of Christmas stuff this year. That's my idea right now. Maybe once I open them, I'll be like, oh, this isn't that bad. I have the right amount, but man, did I declutter my Christmas stuff. Okay? Yeah, so Cap, if I will regret it if it's sentimental, hear me out. Sentimental items. Sentimental items are an item that you have attached a story to. This is a spoon to you. I look at this spoon and I think of my mother-in-law, who has since passed. I have kept this because I think it's a cool spoon and I use it. But there can be a fear that if you are giving away something, you're giving away the story. It's misguided. Think about the story that is attached to the specific item, and know that you can keep the story and break it apart from the item. You know that because you attached it, and it's not there on super glue. You've just kind of taped it around there with some like masking tape. Not even masking tape, maybe some of that crappy tape from Woolworths, okay? You have attached a story to the item. You can detach the story, still have the story, and more easily let go of the item. Even if I didn't have the spoon, would I forget my mother-in-law? No. She lives here. She lives here and in pictures and other things in my house. So notice this, okay? Notice what the story is behind the item. And honestly, too, let me make this easier for you. If it's a bad story attached to it, don't even detach the story. Just get rid of the whole item. Do not save things that tell you bad stories. Do not surround yourself by anything that makes you feel like crap. Okay? Seriously, I've done that, and it's just a big waste of space and time, and it brings you down. Don't bring me down, Bruce. And I know it's not Bruce, but that's what we used to sing, okay? So, I love this. Carla Jane is chiming in. 6 bags taken out last night to donate, and the tea party is today. I love it. Okay, Amber says, I wouldn't do it at all, but my daughter loves it. Yeah. But maybe, Amber, you can have her participate in it, and luckily it's just temporary. Okay, and maybe the overwhelmingness of it, that might overwhelm her too. I know ADHD tends to run in the family because I've got it in mine. So maybe a simplified holiday decor might be better for everybody. Yeah, okay, Teresa says, and I get it, but the item triggers the story that I might forget. Yeah, guess what? So write down the frickin' story. Tell yourself the story, write it down. Record yourself telling yourself the story. Throw it into otter.ai and it will print it out. Make a video of yourself telling the story. Take a picture of the item so you have the visual trigger. I'm not saying, and true, I do not force you to get rid of anything. I'm just offering to you that notice that it isn't the item that is concerning you, it's the story. So there we go. There are different ways you can do the keeping of the story. Sorry, I got distracted because Cat Ruby said Bruce. Yes. Yes, fear of forgetting. Cap, you know, bing, bing, bing. Nose, right there. Yes. Fear of forgetting. Fear of forgetting is real. I'm afraid I'm going to forget this. I'm afraid I'm going to forget what I want at the grocery store when I get there because it's too overwhelming. So I write it down. I'm afraid I'm going to forget the origin story of when my husband and I started dating, and I've already forgotten certain details, and I don't want to forget these things because they were good. I'm going to write them down. So yes, do please, 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 as James Brown and Beth from Destination Declutter often says, do not rely on your brain as a filing cabinet, as a storage solution. No, your brain is not a filing cabinet. Your brain is a creative, wonderful muscle of your brain. But it cannot be the admin. It cannot be the filing cabinet too. Maybe back in the day when things were simple and you had one book on a shelf and you owned 2 dresses and you lived out on, like Little House on the Prairie, maybe that. Our external world has evolved so much faster and past what our organic brains can handle. Do not feel bad about not being able to remember stuff. That just makes you feel worse. Feeling bad makes you feel worse. Use a different method to remember the things you're afraid of forgetting. You do this all the time anyway. You write shopping lists, you favorite a picture on your cell phone. You have the people you dial most frequently, on your favorites. You have things bookmarked here. You write down, this is what, my will, who do I want my stuff to go to? Okay. So please notice the connection between the stuff and the story. Okay. Like appointments. Gee, Schnauzer, nice to see you. I will see you next week, okay? I will see you next week, and I look forward to it. I hope you're doing okay, all right? Okay. So, Rachel says, oh, I love the photo album idea. Yeah, really cool. But please remember, too, and I will just share this with you. Notice when we might inadvertently be creating clutter for the next generations that they don't know what to do with it. Your things only matter the most to you. Once you no longer own them, they have very few attachments to other people. I could take a picture of the things that meant something to me and bind it up in a book, and it means a lot to me. But then when I die, then my nieces and nephew will be like, great, I got a book filled with pictures that Auntie Beth took. What do we want to do with this? I don't know. So I am trying to be very mindful about not creating clutter for the future generations while I'm trying to solve my own clutter. This is why I think, honestly, you guys, the beauty of digital storage. Because a book can also be lost or thrown away or burned. A digital file can be misfiled or whatever, but it's going to happen. Okay? Now, what else do we have? Yes, the lyric wasn't Bruce. They say, no, it's, use it at Christmas Town. Spruce is a good one. No, I believe it's Gruce. And here's a little humble brag. My husband actually is in a band with some of the guys who used to be in ELO and ELO too. I believe it's Gruce, Groos. It was supposed to be just a placeholder, Jeff Lynne. And, but everybody, when you don't know what Gruce is, and it doesn't seem like a word, then your brain fills in something familiar. So we say Bruce. Okay. All right, Carla's rocking it. Carla is rocking it, okay? And I love it that she and Laura are checking in with each other, how they're feeling, because you know what? Clutter makes the people get together. Yeah, you know what? Wendy M says, I can't believe this is the same brain I used to remember 100 phone numbers with. Yeah, you know what? I think, honestly, that our brains have a certain capacity. And we have filled it up with random shit. Do you hear how often I am referencing things from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s? I inadvertently used all my storage space on random things, and now my brain is full. And so I need an external hard drive. My external hard drive is me writing stuff down. It's me recording these TikTok videos for you. So do not feel bad about your brain. Work with your brain how it is today. If it's got ADHD, awesome. If it's old and forgetting stuff, awesome. Don't beat your brain up, but celebrate it for what it is. Because notice this. Imagine you're in an office, okay? Imagine you're in an office and you have somebody who is this wildly creative person who's coming up with ideas and things, and they, all these wonderful, really cool things that could happen. And they are the generator of this idea. But you also have them being like doing the filing and doing the, cleaning up the break room and stuff like that. So this is your brain, okay? Your brain is a creative machine. It is the best computer on the planet. But if you also force it to do these mundane tasks and try to remember it, it's going to be so busy trying to remember and file these files that it cannot be its creative thing. So you find a different way to file those things. So all your brain needs to do, and what I mean by this is decluttering. This is making things easy. This is coming up with processes. This is making things simple so you don't have to think about it. You just do it. And then your brain is just like, what I'd like to create? And then you say, what? This. Oh, okay. And then you know how to get it done. Don't beat up your brain, but work with it and know that it is the best creative thing you have. You are creating your life. The life you want stems from in here and in here. All right? So don't feel bad about it. The more you know with Beth. Yes. Zing. Knowledge is power. Schoolhouse rockin' with the trade. Schoolhouse rock by Nabisco. Oops. Okay, we got 4 minutes. All right, what can we do in 4 minutes? We can do a lot in 4 minutes. Yeah, there we go. This is your brain on drugs, right? But this is your brain when you're trying to make it also be like the secretary, not the visionary. Now you've got, because we are the two of us, we're not, because we all of that office is in one unit. You also have to be the person to do that. Many of us are not lucky enough to be like, I'm going to just sit here and do this, and then I have somebody else to clean up after me. No, you also have to clean up after me, but you don't have to keep it up here. Again, notice when I said earlier about calming down the nervous system, writing stuff down. Writing the stuff down, okay? Putting it down onto paper. You can then look at it. It sticks. You don't have to worry about it. And that feeling of not fear of forgetting, you write it down in a place that you know where to find it. This is why I have gotten into the habit. I write down things. Occasionally I'll write something down on a scrap of paper, but then I'll transfer it someplace where I know where to look for it. I write things down in a cheapo spiral bound notebook. I write things down on my computer. I text my things to myself that then get to my computer. That gives me the safety of not being fearful of forgetting it. And once I have that off my head, then I have a clear brain and say, what kind of good stuff, what kind of good trouble do I want to get into 2025? What? And then I say, you know what? I could do this, I could do that. And good idea. I'm going to write that down. Right? So notice this. All right, Garrett. Yes, Judy is saying writing down has really helped me. Yes. I'm about a minute away from signing off and signing on to help some clients. And one of the things we spend our time doing is allowing yourself the time. And you don't need acres of time. I know you don't measure acres of time by acres, but that's the word I got. You would be crazy. You would be so surprised to realize how much you can get out of your head and onto paper in less than 5 minutes. And man, when you get it out of your head and you say, so that's what's going on up there, then you can do something about it. Okay? Now I'm going to sign off momentarily. Again, my name is Beth. Destination Decluttered is me here on TikTok and on YouTube and on the internet. This weekend, because this is Friday, so this weekend I will not be doing any TikTok lives. The only time I'm getting together with any of y'all is when we do a decluttering party. If you want to be invited to the decluttering party, sign up for the mailing list. If you're already on the mailing list, you know how to get access to the invite and buy your ticket. And the ticket is going to also help the women's shelter down the street from me. Okay? Now, I love this. Garrett says dishwasher is running, island cleared, and ready for grocery delivery. Kat Roby is the breakfast bar battle continues, but I'll win the war. Yes, awesome, you guys. Always a pleasure. I look forward to seeing a lot of you on our parties this weekend, and if not, I'll see you next time I do a TikTok Live. Let's have some fun and let's get it done, okay? That's my catchphrase for the time being.